repeating in my mind is just Nicholas Ortega, this name.
But who's Nicholas Ortega?
I don't know.
Don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Marshal Kramer Show. I am Marshal Kramer, and this is my show. The place where I do my shit, talk about my stuff. Got Abe's back here again, my old friend Abe's, the artist, music maker. You guys have seen him on many episodes before, and he brought along a new guest this time, an old friend of his, an old neighbor, actually, of his, a man who went to our high school. His name is Joe. He's involved with another old friend of ours, was involved in this investing group, this trading investing group. So we kind of start with that and talk a little bit about that, but as you know about my conversations, they veer, they go fucking everywhere, man. So that's what we kind of did there, but it's a really fun one. It was a really good one. I have so much fun when we have conversations like this. So I hope you guys enjoy that. There is a part 2 of this because we didn't get to everything that we wanted to talk about, but that'll be coming up soon. So look out for that. And I hope you guys enjoy this one with me, Abes, and Joe.
Yeah.
Wasn't it pretty big?
It was pretty big.
I thought it got bigger than 15. I thought it was like 100.
Well, it was like 100 people, but like in the voice chat, you'd have like 15 people.
Which is a lot. I always say
too.
that, you know, you're a music maker. You make music too. Do you release that stuff? Do you release it out?
I haven't in a while, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're familiar with it, with Sixth Floor. I'm like, with this, you know, you look at like, what are your songs? You got like 1,000. Mm-hmm. And I know people listen to them again and stuff like that, but like, even if you're just doing a concert, if you were to take that and boil it down to a concert, even doing a concert in front of 30 people, like, dude, you could be lit, bro. Like you got if the lighting's right, bro, there's not a lot of light behind it, the people are right around the stage, bro, and they're really feeling your shit. Or like I always said, like with this podcast, between the audio and the YouTube, it guesses that it probably has anywhere from like literally just 35 to 50 weekly listeners. Mm-hmm. If I were a professor and that was the size of my class, that's a lot of people I'm talking to, you know, stuff I'm interested in, you know, on a daily basis. So
yeah, definitely.
That is huge. 100.
Well,
100 in a Discord chat.
I think they say
really
like
cool.
As far as music goes, you know, like you need like 1,000 dedicated
fans,
people, right?
Living,
to make a good living. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Same with content creators, whatever. Those are the people who will buy all your shit. Those people who go all your shit. And not only that, those are the people who are going to spread word, not just on social media. Bobby Lee, the comedian, are you familiar with him?
Yeah, definitely.
He's one of my favorites. And like, my family knows that about me because I talk about it all the time. And then my dad was like, oh yeah, I was scrolling through TikTok, whatever, like he likes that or whatever he was saying. And he saw a few videos or he saw this or that, or he was watching like Pineapple Express on Netflix. He goes, saw Bobby Lee, you know, whatever. It's like, see, you make him a fan by being a fan of him.
Exactly.
If you're a dedicated fan, because I'm one of his dedicated fans.
Definitely.
Or I'll buy his merch or, you know, listen to all his podcasts, go to his show if he has it here in Minnesota. Yeah, that's cool.
That's the only reason
dedicated fans.
That's the only reason that I'm like still even like really trying to pursue music is because of people like Felly that I know. Like I could DM him on Instagram right now and say hey sup, and he'd say hey sup, but like he probably makes like 250,000 a year and gets to live off it. So
which is like not crazy when you think about it in the grand scheme, but at the same time it's like that is a good living.
And you just get to
doing
make
what you want to do.
What you want.
I just saw him on TikTok yesterday. I was scrolling up and he was making videos. He was hopping onto his bus and he's taking that bus around tour. And I'm like, if I was touring around doing live podcasts like this or just something that I loved, oh my God, like it'd be so fun. Give me give me whatever I need to do that. Yeah. And then, you know, I'll make smart investments, man. I'll make smart investments, dude. Damn, like, man, it's tough.
The way I look at it, it's like if let's say I get to a point in my music where I could make $100,000 a year, quit my job, and I'm just making music. I feel like then that gives me even more of an opportunity to focus and get bigger. Like once you get to that point, and I don't have to worry about a job or worry about money or something, who knows where the music could go with that amount of time or that amount of energy towards it. That's what it has to be. Dude, I was saying that stupid fucking line to myself yesterday. That old cliche line that hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And I was like, because I was looking at myself, I'm like I have so much belief in myself, which is very good. But it also turns into egotistical nature all the time. They go, dude, I don't need to practice as much. I don't need to study as much. I'm Marsh. I got it. I don't need to read this book. Just refresh it quick again this week so we can have this thing. I didn't do it because I'm like, I got this, you know, but I don't always got everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like hard work beats talent. That's because, dude, like if you put in good work consistently, I don't care how talented you are, that guy's going to beat you because he's here every single day. Versus, you know, you may have the natural golf talent, but there's somebody else who, you know, maybe didn't start till he was 18, and he's swinging every day. You got your 9 to 5, you go there 2 times a week. At the end of the summer, he's whooping your ass because he was there. You know what I'm saying? I know
that the more time you put into it, like naturally, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's like that foundation.
The same thing with like stock trading, right? And it's like statistically, and you've probably heard this, but like after a year of trying to become a day trader, like 80% of people quit, right?
Yeah.
After 2 years.
Me.
Yeah, after 2 years, 95% of people quit, and these aren't exact. I don't know what it is, but it's like after 5 years, 99% of people quit, right? And it's like, it really does take that long to understand what you're doing, right? And going back to the ego thing, I get that all the time, right? I've gotten into funks when I'm trading where I don't say I have to wake up early, right? Because I don't need to market prep because I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And it bites me in the ass every single time. Because you're not preparing. You're not doing the ritual that you should be doing to try to get better, right? And I'm good enough, and then I'm ass, because you're not continuing to get better at it every day, you know? So, yeah, it's crazy.
And that can literally be applied to anything.
Absolutely.
Be applied to music and not,
Oh, yeah.
You get out there, dude. It's applied to all my stuff. Like every time I release something that I'm really proud of, it's a podcast or it's a short film, whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like, dude, put the thing out there. I'm like, I'm the man. It goes back here. I'm like, I'm the man. And then the next day, like every other day before for months, I've been doing the same routine. And the next day, I go, man, I had that video yesterday, man. I'm good, bro. Yeah. I'm good. And then even the day after it carries in, I go, I'm good, dude. I'm good. And then 3 days later, it's time to do the work again, to film again, to write again. I'm like, I'm not sharp. I'm not here. I'm not at all.
Get out of the funk,
Yeah, because I've been in a huge funk. I've been fogging myself up, just like not caring, not working, not sharpening the tools.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and with real estate too, right? So I'm a real estate agent. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
And so it's been about a year now. I got my license last April. And, same thing. And I got to work to get over that, but you get in that funk, it's like I just had a closing last week.
For sure.
And then you're like, oh, sweet, I got paid, feeling great. I know what I'm doing. And all of a sudden I give myself a day or two off. And then I'm like, wow, I know nothing. Like right back at it, like going into it head first again. And it's like you said, it applies to everything, whether it's music or stock trading or real estate or just your 9-to-5 job, right?
Yes.
And that's what I think my mentality at least is, to kind of be that perfectionist with like whatever you do. And I feel like that's a lot of people, even going to their 9-to-5 that they might hate. If you have the mentality that I do, you're still trying to like be better at it, right? Like my buddy Zach was just saying this the other day. He hates change, right? He doesn't like change and going into like a new setting, but he likes perfecting his craft, right? Right now he's in between jobs. He's dishwashing at a restaurant, but he's gotten really good at it, right? And it's that same mentality. It doesn't matter if it's dishwashing. He goes and you perfect it, and you get the efficiency of it, and you get better at it, and then you get to leave a little bit earlier, and you get to just have more fun while you're doing it. It can happen to anything, but
that is a total fucking mentality switch, and that is something that I don't know if most people, but a lot of people right now could just absorb and hear, dude. Everything. If you're an angry person at your job, you're just an angry person. You're making it bad for you. If you're a positive person, dude, I used to do Panera and shit, bro. Like I was a delivery driver, and you could imagine all the type of ways I could get more efficient and get better at my job that way. But what wasn't part of my job was, but I get bored. If I was just supposed to be a delivery driver, and then I would clean the inside when stuff was really slow, dude. I would try and get faster and faster and faster, figure out how I can bust it quicker, and then figure out how you can make, just make it look better, everything like that, dude. And I took a lot of pride in that. But also, it's because I saw a goal, like that I'm going to make more money from this. I'm going to, get better at this, and I'm going to maybe get promoted. That's what my goal was at the time, XYZ. Sure. Do you think maybe like is it like maybe that lack of that, because the goal ties into the why, right?
Yeah.
It's like, is that lack of the why, or the lack of the ultimate goal, or seeing some sort of reward from your stuff that maybe is like the mentality switch where people like, I'm just here to fucking work. Yeah, everyone else is having a good day. I'm just here to work at Panera.
Yeah.
Oh, here I am. That is not my job. Dude, there was a bunch of girls who worked at Panera, so they would always ask me to take the trash out because those trash got heavy as hell.
Yeah.
And I would be like, I got you, take the trash out. But it's not my job at all. It wasn't my job. That's not what I was paid for. They were actually paid $1 more than me because I got tips, so it wasn't my job. But I liked it, whatever. But there was a few other guys like, no. It's not my job. I'm a driver. And I'm like, hey, this is your attitude. Like, you carry this attitude when you go home. It's not something you hate this work. You're pissed at the fucking video game when you're there. God damn it, man. Like, you're just mad about that. Like, you're that type of person.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that lack of, like, you don't see no reward or goal or why to any of it. I don't know. I was asking.
Absolutely. I mean, and the biggest thing is the why, right?
Yeah.
And I've been really trying to find that, and I keep telling myself, well, it's just my future, and it's my family, my future family, right? And it's just what I want. I love fishing. I love playing Frisbee golf. It's like I want to have the money to get a boat, and I want to have the money to get a super nice disc golf bag, or just kind of bullshit
whatever
stuff.
You want.
But it's like that's not a good why. But then you kind of think about it, and you're like, well, why not? Right? Yeah. Why is that not a good enough why? If it's the stuff that makes you happy, it doesn't have to be something like, oh, I want to become a politician and write these laws, or whatever, and kind of have that bigger humanitarian grand scheme of things. It can totally be selfish in a way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to be successful, you do have to be selfish, right? And you have to put yourself first in a lot of things.
And a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, if that's what your ultimate goal is, I mean, you can ask anybody. Like, I know, like Tom Brady, he's a great example. Like, he's a great father. I imagine whatever, but like, he's a quarterback first. Let's not get it twisted, bro. I mean, he was retired for a month, and he came back. He's like, not this. This is what motivates him. That's what sparks his fucking belly every morning. That's what makes him want to hit the floor. XYZ. Hey, like, you got it. That's a selfish thing, but But is there some sort of balance? My friend always said there's no such thing as balance. I was gonna say, does he have some sort of balance? Because I'm not knocking him as a father. He's a wonderful father, a very involved father, and him and his wife's career.
Maybe a little too involved.
Maybe a little too involved, especially with the. That's a good one.
I hate that video. With
that is so creepy.
Yes, it's terrible.
It's a little weird.
It's a little weird. I've seen podcasts. I watch old podcasts, and I just saw it the other day, and I was like, and I just rewatched it. I was like,
what do I get?
Jack, everything comes at a cost, but
that was like a peck.
It's like very disturbing.
Just the attitude of it.
Just
the attitude of it. Like, what do I get? You're getting a massage, bitch, and you got millions of dollars. And Giselle is walking around somewhere showing amazing. But what do I get? It was just a peck.
Yeah. All right. No. Yeah.
Move on. I was talking to the fucking friends the other day because we had a brainstorming session after the podcast, and I started talking about something, and I watched a movie the other day that ended. The whole movie was fine. It was directed by Spike Lee. Star was Josh Brolin. The last 3 minutes, you found out the whole scheme was ancestral. Then I started talking about something strange about the Johnsons, and I'm like, why are there people making these movies? What is going on here?
You know who Ari Aster is?
No.
He made Hereditary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen it.
It's my favorite horror movie.
Really?
One of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Incredible
I've seen it a couple
Great
times.
horror movie.
Yeah.
Incredible movie.
Yeah.
He made short films before he started making movies, and he made one called The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing is about the son being in love with his dad.
Yeah, and there's no surprise. It's a 30-minute
rapes him and
30-minute short film, and there's no surprise.
The son rapes his dad.
It's terrible.
The son. It's a 30-minute short film, and there's no surprise. Within 2 minutes, you see that this is what it is. So for 28 minutes, you know what's happening. Unlike this movie I was watching, is 90-minute, right? And the last 3 minutes, he goes, no, so I was like, oh, now it's all nasty. Yeah. But like for the whole 8 minutes, he was with me. He's like, Marsh, you got to watch this. And I'm like, why are we watching this? And I'm like,
and the dad's like scared of the son. It's like watching
so fearful.
It's like watching a normal like assault movie or like a girl getting assaulted by a guy, but it's a dad that should like be able to like beat his son's ass.
But then the son who's like very aggressive and physically, but always like, you love me, Dad. We love each other. Like, not like, just like, we love each other. Like,
so this was just like a script, though, right? Or like a movie. It wasn't like a true story, right?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. People are
I don't think
crazy.
Life imitates art. Yeah. Everyone says that. I say art imitates life, buddy. Yeah. These stories do not just pop out of people's thin air, man. Yeah. There's some stories I'm not saying they did it, but there's stories they heard from somebody else when they were growing up, and they're all like, yeah, because it was, that shit's some creepy ass shit, bro.
Jeez.
Anyway, Tom Brady is selfish.
Yeah, right.
He wants his lips wet.
He wants keeping up with the Bradys. The strange thing about the Bradys.
The strange thing about that. Tom's losing friends. Tom's losing fans.
What you were fucking saying about Tom Brady, though, is and you were saying like about like finding a why, and that's got to be one of the scariest things in doing anything, right? Like,
absolutely.
Like you get that. We always have those moments where you're like, you start to think about like this is real life. You like think about like your arms and your legs. You're like, I'm a human being. Like those moments where you're like, why am I even fucking here?
Yeah.
The other day, I had like a super bad day. It was like 2 weeks ago. And I'm up in my kitchen and I'm like panicking and I'm having like this terrible anxiety attack. And like middle of living here, and I was mixing my last album, the whole why was like, so I can get out of here. So by the time I move out of this house, I'll be making a living off of my music type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was really working towards that. Staying up in my kitchen like 2 weeks ago, and I'm panicking. And I go downstairs and I just put on my headphones, start recording a song, blasting loud volume. Next thing I know, 30 minutes later, I'm good and like I'm tired and I can go to bed. I'm not anxious. And I just like think to myself, I'm like, this is it. This is the why. It takes me out of my fucking life for 5 seconds. That's why I do it. And I don't think I'll ever think of it the same anymore because like it really does help me in that way that I don't give a fuck if anything happens ever again.
That's been your switch for a while now.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason this whole,
Yeah,
you were like, yeah, dude, that's cool. That's a great way of thinking about it.
And I explained it to my dad the other day too because I moved all the music shit down to Hook and Hatchet. And like you have to imagine like that's his place.
Yeah.
He doesn't need all the music stuff down there, but we got in this long phone call. And he's like, what's going on? Like you've been like super off. And I was like, to be honest, I'm just like really upset that I haven't been able to record music or felt comfortable recording music for like the last 6 months. And I explained to him like how I have headphones on, I'm not on my phone, I'm not thinking about shit. And he's just like, we're going to fucking find you the greatest place in the world to record music so you don't have to fucking feel like that anymore.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I was literally, before you went on that, I was going to ask, like, what's your why, right? Yeah. And, like, it can be as simple as that, right? And not that that's simple, I guess, but, like, it doesn't even have to be like a tangible thing, right? It can be just a personal, like, this gives me peace. That is my why.
Absolutely.
That is it, right? This is why I do it. It makes me feel good. Simple enough.
The one thing I was thinking about it with that same thing is the same tie-in I was talking about with your mindset. We were talking about the jobs. I'm doing a podcast for free. This would be my 91st or my 92nd episode, all for free. Not for free, right? I've lost tons of money, right, for doing all these things. And I'm recording at a home that I rent from my parents, right? You're at home in your dad's basement making music. But that's how it still makes you feel. That's a mindset thing, right? But he's going to feel this if you continue that mindset, if you actually have it wired in your brain and you're not having your motivation be something external, like when I get a studio, when I buy a studio in downtown LA, then I'm going to be happy. No, you won't, because you're going to be there empty. You're going to carry that exact same mindset. Exactly. That was my thing. Everyone's like, I haven't talked about this in years, but why'd you come back from San Diego? That's where I spent my freshman year of college. And I was like, because, one, you don't realize what you have till it's gone. No, your problems exist here. Mm-hmm. Your problems exist here. So if you travel to wherever the fuck you want to travel, I'm moving away. I'm running away from this place. I need a new fucking town. You're gonna carry your problems with you. Your mind's everything. Facts. You may be elated for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, being like, this is so great and fun. The moment that routine kicks in, you're gonna be like, oh shit. Yeah. And you're back to your old self.
I just saw an old friend, not even an acquaintance, right? But she has a podcast, right? And I just saw like her story right before coming here, and it was about that. She just recorded a podcast about her. It's all about mental health. The whole podcast is, and her boyfriend, fiance, I'm not sure, picked up and moved out of the state, right? Moved far away to some other place, and this whole podcast was about how that did not fix anything, right? And it's like we have this mentality that moving away and starting new is gonna just clear your head of everything that's going on, and it doesn't whatsoever.
Or even easier, there's people who think these starting new, like I'm going to start on Monday, I'm going to start on the 1st, I'm going to start on the 31st, whatever. That. It's always like it's these external things. It's these external things. It's like no, it literally starts now. And since he's left, this house is completely rearranged. Every single time, I thought it was the rearranging and like the visual subconscious things. Like, all right, because I really enjoyed when we were together when it was here, but then everything when it's the same reminds me of that, and I go, damn. And like, this is what I do. I just sit here, and because he would sit there, we watch movies, and it's like all reminisce like that. So I'm like, I got to change it all up anyway. And I thought it was always those that were gonna change me. But then every time I finished the new rearrangement, I looked at it and I go, like nothing changed. Yeah. Then I started thinking, right, for the next few days, working on it, self-reflecting, really thinking about it, and then it was all those mental switches, and first change starts with taking the action and realizing there's a problem, and I start thinking about it and I go, oh no, it's here, it's this and this, it's those problems, and then I walk in And I see the home in a whole different way, but it's nothing because of the new decoration. It's all because of my mindset with it. It's like, we're doing this. You know, it's that mental switch.
Well, and I do that with my office. You know, that's where I do a lot of my real estate work. It's where I do a lot of all of my trading, right?
Yeah.
And I start to get in a funk, and I'm like, I gotta clean. You know, I gotta put this desk over here now, and I gotta change these light colors or whatever. And at first, it feels good, and you're like, this is fresh, this is new,
right?
I'm rejuvenated. And then, like, literally the next day, you're like, this is still the same room. This is still the same stuff. It's just in a different place, you know?
I've never heard any literature on it, but I imagine it's the same type of thing what they say about these new multitaskers.
Sure.
That change and switch gives us such a rush of dopamine. And like I want to be on my phone here. Now I want to be on here. Now I want to look up and watch Netflix. I want to go back to TikTok. Now I want to whatever. And that's why like TikTok is the biggest one because it's just like change,
new thing,
change,
yep.
And it's just easy to sit there and do that, you know. But and get random stuff. But it's probably that same type of switch. Oh man, so exciting, so exciting. But I know that's not related to then your mindset of how can you change how you feel about it. But that's a good thought.
You know, it's the same kind of stuff. You know, you get into the groove, and I do that, right? The multitasking of I've got this thing, this. You know, business thing. I'm answering emails on my phone, and I'm filling out a contract on my computer, and on my second monitor, I've got some kind of YouTube video or whatever, and I just keep going this to that, and that's how I work, and that's how I work efficiently, really. But at the same time, when I'm like, oh shit, I got to get this thing done, all that goes away, and I do the one thing, right? And I like know when I can be effective doing all of them, and when I need to hone in on one, right?
I've also heard studies done on that sometimes when you exactly like you said it, when you know how to use it, multitasking can end up being so effective at getting things done because in the act of multitasking alone in that sense, you start to prioritize all of the important things in the things that you're multitasking.
Exactly.
And you start to pick like, you know, I just need the bullet points. I'm going to do 3 things instead of 1, but just give me the fucking bullet points of all 3. So it's, you know, like that. It's just
Post-it notes. My best friend, dude. Every single time I think of something I need to do, every morning I write down, you know, the couple things that I know I need to do that day. And I'm a procrastinator. I've always been a procrastinator, right?
I think everybody is.
I believe that too.
Because I don't know anyone that's not.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
Because I am too.
So you got my things there,
or at least I do often.
And I'm like, I can wait until this, you know, I don't need that done until 3 o'clock. So I can push it off till noon, right?
No
or
worry,
whatever,
baby. Ain't no
right?
worry.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden it's 2:30 and I'm like, oh shit, I got to do that thing. And I can do it. But I always get it done, right?
Yeah.
It's never like this. Like I never feel like it's a bad thing, right? Because I always get it done. I always accomplish it in a good way too, right? It's not like I'm half-assing it, but it's like that's just how I work, right? Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people, I can't stand when people are like doing things way ahead of like a deadline, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like if like in real estate, I do things before deadlines, right? If like, let's say you need all these things done before closing, I'm not going to wait until the day before closing to have all them done. I'm going to have them done with plenty of time for things to go wrong or whatever, right?
Fair enough.
But when it doesn't necessarily matter,
when it's excessively,
when it can be done at 2:49 and it's due at 2:50 or whatever the task is, right? It's like
it's always comforting when you literally were talking about the change in your office. Like I said, that's something even before he was gone. That's something I did almost every week and have done every week for like my whole entire life. It's always very comforting to hear other people's that are similar to you because that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think like every time I think I'm so fucking weird, unique, whatever, different. And then you listen to a podcast, you talk to somebody else, you have a conversation, meet new people, you talk to a friend, and you go, oh, I'm really not that bizarre.
You do that too?
I'm really not bizarre, you know? And like, at least a lot of times people are like, I can understand that I have something similar, you know? And you realize, hey, you're not that weird, buddy. Yeah. You're not that weird.
We're all weird.
Yeah, we're all weird. We're all very weird. You all got
weird.
your little quirks and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird has come I'm trying to twist it because I always had it as such a derogative term in because I've been called weird my entire life.
Sure.
And it's like, well, unique, different, like odd, like those are all weird under the weird umbrella. I'm like, what do you mean? Because they all go weird, you know? I mean, if they go, dude, you're so weird, then I know you love me. But if it's like, dude, you're weird, bro, which I've gotten so many times. I'm like, you're telling me, dude, you're odd, man. You're an odd Thomas, bro. And I'm like, dude, that's not nice. That hurts my feelings, man.
Everybody's weird though.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people that like have it all together or at least appear to have it all together, right?
Bullshit.
Those people are
Get the
fucking
weird,
weird, right?
Get out of
We're the
here,
normal
bro.
ones.
Get out of here,
when
bro.
it comes down to it.
Yeah,
but,
no, get out of here.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with Epps and Tommy about this. So I've like always had this thing since I've been a kid, and you have to know this too, that like just like the weird noises and like the weird phrases that'll just pop into my head randomly.
Yeah.
So I'm standing at Quick Trip, and repeating in my mind is just Nicholas Ortega, this name. And I say to Evan, I was like, my mind is a scary ass place. I was just standing over there putting onions on a sandwich going, Nicholas Ortega. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm super weird, right?
Yeah.
Then I come home from the bars on Friday. And have you seen Euphoria?
No, actually, no.
And you haven't either. So this
but
probably won't make sense to you, but there's like this gangster, like white guy in it. And I drop my phone on the ground and I'm like, oh, come on. And then all night long, I'm just thinking in my mind, come on, Rue, you can't do this. And I'm just repeating this guy's voice in my head all night. So that's just.
But who's Nicholas Ortega?
I don't know.
Don't know.
It just came in your head.
It just came in my head. So yes, everybody is fucking weird as shit.
Oh my God.
When we were kids, dude,
I know
the shit that we would just say, just not making any sense.
Oh my God.
Anything. I mean, wow.
I walk around my house saying just random words, man. Me and my mom are like, or my mom, I got it all from her. She's like the king of gibberish. So I just, when she just, hey, you gotta go grab your whatever, she'll just, you know the context, so it makes sense. She's just like, hey, grab the thing, grab the baboo. And I'm like, it's right there, baby. Or like I was always told like the vapes. I always give them like a pinch if I want people's vapes, and I'll be like Reed used to call it the baboon, or like we'll just say random stuff, or like give me the baby boy, whatever, just something. Jeez. Hey man, we all got that shit. I always said that to people who ever said it to me. I retract that. I've never stood up for myself and ever said that to anyone who said it to me. I go, oh yeah, that's all right. Anyway, what I thought is, yeah, I am, and so are you. I just do it in front of a camera in some sort of way. Yeah. And that's where I think it can be bad, because we were episode with the new one coming out, it's all about this, is that then if you do it in ways like that where it's weird, like what you would do in front of your mirror, if you're just walking around the house, Marsh, and you're just going ba-ba-boo-le, right? Don't put that on a TikTok screen, because that's super cringy. If that happens to be an add-on of your character while you're making a short film, or it's something added into your music, you're talking about like, I don't know, whatever, it's just added into an art some way, you make a picture representing walking through the house going ba-blue, but just walking with your phone, be like, ba-blue, like, dude, that is so cringy, bro.
It's terrible.
Get the fuck out of here.
And we've talked about this multiple times about how there has to be a line there, because you cannot just fucking put anything on the internet and then just go, you're just judging me, man. Yes. I'm so positive. You're hating on positivity right now. No. I mean, you can, obviously, because you can do whatever the fuck you want.
You can do whatever you want, but that is it. That's it.
Well, it's like when you see people on TikTok, too, especially that, like, share way too much.
Yes.
They get way too personal, and it's just like, oh, this is just me. This is how I am.
With no context or way to help you. Exactly.
Don't share that.
And you can easily tell in the storytelling and their tone, if it's a bitching tone, this is happening to me right now, I need someone to text me and say I'm commenting, or being like, I just came out of this happened to me 3 weeks ago. Hey, let me tell you my story. This is what happened to me, and this is kind of how I fought through it. Maybe you can take some advice from that. But none of this like, oh, pity me, blah, blah, blah. Like, that shit's just so cringy. And there's like, again, there's no context to it, and there's no like, I'm trying to help you. It's just like, listen and hear me cry. Yeah. It's like,
you cannot positive your way to success. Like, people just like fucking, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like, you can't just say like, y'all just hating on me. Like,
yeah, stop hating.
You're
stop.
all just haters.
Yeah, I'll start deleting every one of you guys, so stop. And then they take that threat. Well, you think they're going to all stop, and then you're going to rise to the top. Yep. I liked what you said, that because that's something I needed too. And I've always heard like people who've gotten famous are like, being the younger you are, the tougher it is. And it's something when I wanted to start my journey of, let's just say, video making XYZ publicly, right? Posting that stuff, started around 17, 18, 19, 20. I was exactly like what I'm going to say is, how can you post that stuff publicly and then ever look back at someone and be like, yo, just hating on me. Yeah. You posted it publicly, man. Oh, that's what people do. That's talent shows, like grades. We judge. Like, how do you hit a home run or not? Did you we judge. We completely judge.
Yeah.
What do you mean crying about that?
Life is criticism, right?
Exactly.
And you need to
and you're
be
posting
open
this
to it.
publicly.
If you're
dude.
posting it, you need to be open to it, and you need to
the
learn
nature
from
of
it, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking back, dude, the shit that we would make on YouTube back in the day,
And the
cringy as hell, right?
The password to that
You
account,
show me some videos.
That password to that account no longer exists, so none of those videos can get taken down.
Yeah, they're
and I
just
got
there,
fucking
right?
hammered at your cabin and just showed everybody.
and now you can't get back into it now.
I wasn't able to when I was at the cabin either.
Oh,
It's
you-
just a random YouTube.
Oh, but you
account.
know the name
Yeah.
to it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were drunk. Was
Yeah.
it before the night or end of the night? I think it was
Just hanging out.
whatever. We're
fucking
just hanging out. We're drinking,
Mhm.
whatever, like four of us, whatever. And then I got the big screen TV in the cabin and the surround sound. And he just starts playing over and over and over again stuff with you, stuff with Tate,
Daily
XYZ,
vlogs.
literally just
Yeah.
whatever. Playing over and over again. I'm like, and you guys were young as hell. And
Oh,
some
yeah.
of them, I was like, damn, that shit's funny. But he loved it. It was
a blast, and
It's a
those memories
jumping into your
are
memory, bro.
fucking
yeah.
insane.
Jumping
Well,
into
that's the
memory.
thing. It's like you can watch it and be like, dude, that was so stupid. I've fucking posted a video. It's probably still on YouTube. I'm sure it's still on YouTube. I took a bowl of cereal. I sat in front of my computer and I just filmed myself. I didn't say anything. I just ate this bowl of cereal and I posted it on YouTube. And people like in high school,
It's great.
Came up and were like, dude, what the fuck is this? You know, this is so stupid. And I was just like, whatever. But it's like, you know, from a business standpoint at least, when you're putting out stuff, right? When you're putting out songs, when you're putting out videos, whatever, that criticism, if they're saying this is stupid, I'm hating on you, whatever, slough that off and that's nothing.
That's
right?
nothing.
And then
They don't
the
mean
good
that.
thing is that you can take criticism and you can learn from it and you can get better, right? Because somebody that actually cares and actually knows what they're talking about is going to be like, hey, Marsh, you know, this shot was a good idea, but you know, you didn't execute it well. Maybe next time try this. And then you're going, oh shit, thanks. You know, yeah, I can see that now, you know?
And if you want to have that ego, and the first time you get criticism, you want to shut that down and say, you just hating, you're done. That's when your career dies.
Exactly.
If you take it, whatever. And again, especially in the beginning when you're small, the only people who are going to give you criticism, people who know you and love you.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, like this, and this right here. What about that? Is there anything that can be done? And then you go, hey, factor that into my next one. Otherwise, you'll never grow. How do you get better? You got to see it from you have to have respect for your audience and people who aren't you making it, that they have a different eye for it.
Yes.
They didn't know the process.
Yeah.
So I want to hear from an outsider perspective. You didn't know the challenges, or you didn't know what was meant to be there, that I switched in because of editing. And I like to hear their perspective.
Exactly.
And that will allow me to grow and keep getting better and better. This show has massively changed. This show has been named 3 different things.
Yeah.
And and had different seasons or whatever. And then the editing's completely changed. Like I can tell already, as much as I'm Marshall, the man. As much as I love myself, dialogues with guests, 3 to 4 times as much views as just with myself. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like Joe Rogan,
Not
the best
trying to put
podcast.
on a persona of
Joe Rogan's best
else,
podcaster in the world. If he started doing it monologue solo by himself, he's going from 9 million average listeners to 1 or half.
yeah.
You know, come
Oh,
on,
definitely.
it gets a little boring.
You listen
know?
to Bill Burr at all?
I
His
love
podcast.
Bill Burr. I don't listen to his podcast, the Monday Morning Podcast.
Yeah.
I love
so
Bill Burr, though.
He's always solo, right?
Yep.
Very rarely.
Chris D'Elia does too.
He
You
pulls
filming with
somebody
him?
on there. Yeah. I haven't listened to his though.
No, I don't
but,
listen to him either.
Dude, and Bill is just so freaking good at it.
Yeah, he's good.
He's like, when he has a guest on, I don't listen. I've tried,
Really?
and it's just not the same
enough.
kind of thing, unless it's somebody that I also really like, you know. But it's he talks to himself, right? And he's a comedian, obviously, but like the whole time it's not funny. You know, he's not just shooting off jokes one after another, pretending he's talking to a crowd. I had a really shitty day. You know, he's talking about his family, and I was so mad yesterday of this stupid thing. But it's so good, and it really feels like a conversation, even though he's just talking at you, or you know, he's just telling his story, kind of a thing. It's just, I don't know, it's so creative, but
That's cool. Yeah, I like it. I like Bill Burr. I haven't listened to this podcast though. There's a few other comedians. The one I really like listen to all the time. You're familiar with Tim Dillon? He's another big comedian.
Yeah.
So he does a monologue too. But the reason it works for those two is because Bill's from Boston and Tim's from Long Island, and they're ranters at heart. So they just
get
sit in
into
front of
it.
a mic and
Yeah.
they can rant for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour.
Definitely.
Like, almost
Oh,
better
yeah.
than anyone in the world. And that's why they are who they are. But that's what
Yeah.
their acts are like on stage. And even if they get to create the film. Like F is for Family is a lot of him just ranting. It's a great show. I love everything about Bill Burr, but that's his style, so that allows him to do that. Someone like Joe Rogan is not a ranter. He's an interviewer. So for him to sit there for an hour, I don't know. I would love to see him do it. I would love to see him do it. Because he does
even
well,
like once.
He does well on his specials, but I would just love to see him do it. Yeah, once, just to see what he would talk to you without looking at Jamie each time. Just like sit there to the camera and talk to the camera each time. It'd be interesting.
So I was gonna go back to
happened.
you, right? And we were just talking about like the criticism with the music and stuff. And I think as an artist, I have just found what you found probably years ago, right? And that the sense of taking criticism, but also not giving a shit what people think about your music, right? And like you've done this for so long, and you probably care what people think for sure, right? But like me, I haven't released things in years because I've had projects on projects on projects that I've never released because I don't think they're good enough, right? And to the audience, they're not good enough. Not to me, they're not good enough. They're terrific in my eyes, but I don't think anybody's going to like it. I think everybody's going to hate on it. So like that's why I didn't put it out. And now something happened in my life, and I don't know exactly what, I guess, where I just don't care. And now I'm going to start putting out music again because I want to put out music, right? And I'm not really trying to make it as a professional musician in the sense of becoming the next Kanye, but I'm just trying to do what I like to do. And I love making music. I have my entire life, right? So yeah, go ahead.
With anything, going back to your business mindset and what you were talking about earlier, if you're, if anything, by doing that, that's where you're gonna get your feedback, and that's where you're gonna have your feedback loop. That's where you're gonna get all of your criticism, positive criticism, respectful criticism. You can't do that by hiding the shadows.
And I am the shadows.
People don't know what they don't know.
I know. I have no idea the only one that's seen some of it, like, or a couple people that are very close to me have heard some of them. There's some things I haven't shown anybody, and it's like, that's not doing anything, It's cool for me to create it, but what's the point then?
So that's a psychological theory about the imposter syndrome. Basically, especially males, we're very, very, very sensitive to being seen as an imposter, and in the sole act of starting something, you have to be an imposter. You gotta fake it till you make it. You gotta look like a fool over and over and over again, because that's called learning. That's called failing and learning. And again, I guess if you ever fail and quit, then you're done. That's not learning. That's called regressing. But that's what it is called. You're afraid to be seen at the bottom, And there's so many short films and like cinematic or cinematography styles that I want to try that I don't do every day. That I come back from work and I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch something and think about how much I want to go do that right now, but I don't even want to try it. I don't even want to try it and make it because I know when I make it, it's not gonna be good, and I'm not gonna show anybody shit.
Yes,
that's like. Why? I will never get you. Hey, dude, if you're really that bad, if you really have that big of a thing, especially if you're talking about YouTube, a week later after you post it, you can delete it. Instagram, you can delete it. Try it out there. You're like, oh my God, I regret putting that out there. I do not want it out there. Maybe you got the feedback you wanted or whatever, but you'll never know if you don't try. And you never know if you don't try.
No, definitely. And I think going into like, I keep saying this to like this summer, I'm going to start to do
this summer,
right? And it's like, why not right now, But
right,
at the same time, you kind of have like a plan, and I've always like pushed that plan back and pushed it back, and I'll start making YouTube videos, or I'll start doing a podcast or whatever later. I'll start doing
later.
Well, see you later. I'll try it then, because maybe then I'll be more educated, or maybe I'll have more knowledge, and then I'll be ready, And it's like, you're not gonna get better by just watching another YouTube video of somebody else doing it. I mean, to an extent, you will, right? You're gonna learn something. But if you do that day after day after day after day, what's that going to do for your craft that's in your dreams?
Dude,
nothing.
And going back to like the criticism, when I'm talking about feedback, there's a lot of nonverbal and intangible feedback. Like I'm saying, views are not only feedback, the lack of views are feedback. Likes are not always feedback. The lack of likes or interaction is feedback. The lack of watch time is feedback. It's like, hey, whatever it is, and if you don't put it out there, you're not going to learn fucking anything. And that is not, all these things we say, all these philosophies we're saying right now do not just apply to what we're talking about. No. Content creating, whatever. It can apply to anything, especially back we're talking about the mindset and whatever, and finding your why. That can apply to. We were talking about dishwashing. Panera.
I think that's life. Yeah, you know what I mean. It doesn't. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be a creative. For these things to apply whatsoever. That's life. And if you're the pessimist that's, oh, life's out to get me, I lost the lottery ticket again, kind of a guy, that's going to be the rest of your life, right?
Absolutely.
Have you guys seen Yellowstone? Watch the show Yellowstone?
Is that the new show? Yeah, I heard about it.
I got to try to remember this. So there's a guy in it, his name's Rip. He's like the big tough cowboy guy, right? Yeah. And he just said something last night in the episode I was watching, and it was basically like there's two roads in life, and one is, oh man, it's like you can kind of sit back and do nothing and be nothing, or you can work hard and you can try to be that other thing, and that will happen, right? Mm-hmm. And if you let life choose for you, you're always going to be that bottom rung, right? You're always going to have life kicking you in the ass if you let life control you. And he didn't say all that, right? It was a very quick little witty kind of thing. I wish I could remember it, but just such a good like life lesson. It doesn't matter what it is, what you're doing. That's how you got to look at everything,
dude,
right?
Going back to earlier what I was saying with making me feel better about the goddamn switching the shit up.
Yeah.
No, I remember what it really was earlier, because I'm feeling it again when you say this. Because I forget, because like when I'm not around people, like I live alone and like I work alone, I don't see people a lot. And every time I meet a new person, I'm meeting for the first time, you're so much like me. When I watch TikTok or all these social media things, I think the world's going fucking crazy. Yeah. I think there's everybody in this world who's playing this victim mentality shit. Then I talk to you again, then I talk to you again, and mostly every fucking friend I have, because you're not my friend if you're like that. And I go, why do I have this thought that the whole world is going to fucking hell, and everyone's losing their mind, and everyone's being like, oh yes, I need this and that, like the world is all against me and XYZ. No, that is my fucking minority. Yeah. I just had people over here again this weekend, the first time I've met these two individuals, and they were just like the exact same way. They're like, oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, just people complaining. I don't know why. It always slips into me.
I see it too, where some people talk, right? And they talk the talk, and they say these things.
Yeah.
And then what are they doing? Well, they're not going to work, or they're complaining about work, or they're actually living on the other side, even though they're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm totally this personality," when in reality they're really not. You know. And that's something you got to be careful of, because at the same time you don't know who that could be, especially if you're just meeting somebody, right?
Oh,
I could be a sack of shit. You don't really know. We're not best friends or anything, right? But I'm not, So like I can have that mentality to be looking forward and to have that positivity, and if you work hard, you're gonna get it, kind of a thing, right? And the people that kind of sit back and like to, like you say, play victim about anything, really, it doesn't matter what aspect of life it is. That's just gonna be the rest of your life, then, man. If they don't snap out of that at some point, they're gonna feel that way forever,
My biggest thought on that, when you said you're gonna get it. When you work hard, you're going to get it. Getting it, to me, whatever you think of right now, and you keep working hard for the next decade, whatever you want right now a decade later, it might not even be that. Yeah. But you will, it manifests itself into so many different ways. But that feeling, it's these feelings we're trying to really chase, right? This feeling of accomplishments, this feeling of satisfaction, love, whatever. So you'll get it in different ways. You're like, oh, I want this right now. But just don't worry about that all the time. Just know your short-term goals. What your work process. Get back to work. Keep fucking working. And whatever is supposed to happen to you, I promise you it's good if you put in the good work, and it's going to happen to you. That's my belief.
And then, with working too, if you don't like what you're doing, don't do it.
Yeah,
right?
I agree with that.
I hate when people bitch about their job or their life, right? Because they can't change it. Yes,
that's literally what Evan Everly said when we were talking about. That's
word for word, though, right?
That's word for word what you said.
You are living your life. This is a video game. You are the controller.
Exactly.
And if you don't like the way that it's going, change it.
Change it, bitch.
Don't sit back and go to your shitty 9-to-5 every single day because you have to. Find a different 9-to-5. If that's the life you want, find a different 9-to-5 that you might like even a little bit more. You're going to be a little bit happier, right? Have a job for 6 months and quit it and find a new one.
But they got bills. They got a house. They got a car. They got
other jobs.
They got
pay those bills.
No, but they can't. They don't have time. I literally do not have time. That's what their thing is. Always. I do not have time. Yeah. It's like you literally have so much fucking time. I promise you. And it's like all these things. No offense to anything. Like everything you do is great. But like the complaints about a house, a car, a kids, dogs. You did that.
Yeah.
You did that. You had those things. Stop. You cannot use those. I got all these things tying me down. You can't use that as an excuse, because you're the one who chose to have it tie you down.
Exactly.
And that's it's a beautiful thing. Being a parent, that's a beautiful thing. Jesus Christ. Buying a house is a beautiful thing. But you can't use that as an excuse then.
Yeah.
I can't even take the time to apply for these jobs. I just don't have time. Yeah. It's like but then you have to sacrifice sleep or whatever for how long it takes. I'm not talking a day, a week. I'm talking however fucking long it takes.
You look at those
till
people
you get what you want
with the schedule, right? Let's say you got a 9 to 5. Well, wake up at 6. There's 3 more hours before you got to go to your job that you can do something, right? I'm not saying it has to be a side hustle. I'm saying wake up, watch your Netflix. If you're coming home from your 9 to 5 and you're making dinner and you're watching Netflix and relaxing, and then what do? You go to sleep, you wake up, you do it all over again, right? If you need your Netflix, wake up, watch your Netflix. Then, oh man, you got from 5 till, let's say, 10 p.m. That's another 5 hours in your day to do what? Anything. To live your dream, right? To make more money, right?
Literally. To do whatever.
And if the problem is finances, like, everybody's got financial problems, right? I feel like you look at Elon Musk.
It never ends.
Yeah.
It never ends. You think you leave college, you get a good job. Do you think it's all good?
This is a great time, right? Read this.
6th floor. Money's only something you need in case you don't die tomorrow. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's
money doesn't give you happiness.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
But you need money, right? You need to live. You need to provide. You need to eat. You need a shelter. And those things aren't free. As much as we would love them to be, that's not how the world works. It's not going to change like that.
You guys definitely have to come back.
Because now that we have that bottom floor, we got to do the performance again, too. If you both did a performance, that'd be so cool.
Oh, dude,
we mix a performance into it.
We should do an
cool.
acoustic version of
like all songs.
Of a bunch. Yeah. I've got a lot of your songs that I'm
cool.
like, we should do this.
That'll be cool. I like to start and then say, hey, you guys will kick us off, and then you guys do a song, you guys come down, we interview, and then you guys take us
and
off.
A nice raw one, too.
That'd be super cool.
Straight up, yeah.
Like, just no fucking...
Now we have so much more room down there, too. We'll get the lights all nice. It'll be look super. I was stuttering there.
Sir.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning into the Marshal Kramer Show. Until next time, take care, my friends, and scoop, boop, toodaloo.
Penis, vagina.
That's his fucking thing.
See, we was cool right before it hit the fence, but it hit the fan when I got him down at the bench. But I took a break, I had to leave and go get cleansed. God forgive me for all my sins. I can't say these hoes.